And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the FreshandFit Podcast. We're here with the Rumble CEO, Chris Pavlovski. Let's get into it, baby!
Let's go!
Sorry, guys, we're just handling a quick little audio thing real fast. I think we're good on our end. Hold on 1 second, guys. Guys, give us ones in the chat if the audio is good on your end. Thing real fast.
We should be good to go.
We should be good right now. Hold on 1 second, guys. Guys, give us ones in the chat. Give us ones if this is good, or if you guys can hear double.
Oh, okay. I know what it is. All right, I got it.
We good?
All right, we got it.
All right, sorry about that, guys, for the double audio. Welcome to the FreshandFit Podcast, guys. It should be good now. Give us ones if we're good. Give us twos if it's still hearing double. But I think at this point, you guys should be good. Guys, welcome to the podcast, man. We're here with Chris, CEO of Rumble, for Money Monday, man. We're really excited for this episode. We've been waiting to get this to you guys for a while. Last time, you were really, really sick. So, obviously, we couldn't do the pod or whatever. We're happy to have you now. Quick announcements. It's actually funny. The top of the line, guys, rumble.com/FreshandFit. As you guys know, that's where to find us. If we ever get canceled or whatever it may be, that's the home base for us. CastleClub.tv as well, man. Check us out over there. So, you know, if the Matrix attacks or whatever, you guys will know exactly where to find us, man. The home of free speech, rumble.com/FreshandFit, CastleClub.tv.
And we got to say, man, without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Chris Pavlovski from Rumble, the CEO.
Oh, there's another double for y'all.
So happy to be here. You know, like the last time you were mentioning, I don't know what happened. I got smoked from who knows what. I had like the flu, and it just took me out for like a week.
Yeah.
So happy to finally be here. Sorry I couldn't make it the last time.
Nah, no worries, man.
We're here now, so let's go.
And special mention, when we were down and out, we were having rough times with different platforms, trying to figure things out. Rumble came to our rescue. So without Chris, this would not be possible, even the podcast itself.
Yeah, I wouldn't have Fresh&fit really if it wasn't for Rumble, man. So shout out to Chris and Rumble's, standby and creators, and we'll definitely talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Chris, for the audience, man, can you introduce yourself to them real quick? We know who you are, but they might not. Can you please introduce yourself to them?
Yeah, you bet. So I'm Chris Pavlovski. I'm founder and CEO of Rumble. That's me.
So how'd you get started in tech? Obviously, you're wildly successful. You've been able to build a great platform that's rivaling, juggernauts in the field like a YouTube and Twitch, etc. How'd you get your start in tech?
Yeah, so I've been in this for over 2 decades. I was building websites out of my parents' basement. I started, I guess, in high school. That was the age where I kind of really started dabbling in the internet, and then it was like, it's actually a funny story because in 2004 or 2005, one of my good friends from high school, this is post high school now, sends me a link to a website. And at this time, I'm running like funny video websites, and he was running like actually one of the largest video websites on the internet called Zippy Videos at the time. And he sends me a link and he's like, check these guys out. They're going to dominate the space because Zippy, I can't afford the bandwidth costs anymore. And the link was, and this is before they were big, like they weren't even, I think there was a ranker out there called Alexa, and he was like a top 50 on Alexa, global websites, and YouTube was like 15,000 at this time, and the link he sent me was YouTube. And I was like, shit. 2 years later, YouTube's getting acquired by Google, and they end up sucking up all the oxygen in the room as Google started integrating them into their search engine and the mobile phones after that, and ended up kind of dominating, not kind of, but dominating the video space post acquisition of when Google bought them. You saw Dailymotion, Meta Cafe, you saw live video, Zippy videos. They all basically, Break.com, they all kind of ceased to exist. And
was this like in the mid 2000s?
This is 2007 to 2010.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of went belly up in the video space, and YouTube just took over the whole space, like inside and out. They monopolized the whole thing, and they became the only real viable online video platform. So, fast forward to like 2010 now. You probably remember the Maker Studios, the full screens, all the people that were managing talent on YouTube, the multi-channel networks, MCNs is what they were called at the time. And specifically, like they ended up becoming like this new ecosystem that was built on top of YouTube. And then I started to notice at that time that there was a lot of deprioritizing of like the small creator, your friends, family, aunts and uncles, and the multi-channel networks, the full screens and the makers and all the big influencers, the corporations, the brands were getting all this attention, and they seem to be getting prioritized on YouTube. So I thought there was like an opportunity starting to emerge around 2010, 2011, and by 2013, I decided that I'm going to go all in on it and try to help the small creator. So I launched Rumble at the end of 2013 on the premise of like bringing monetization and distribution in a fair way to all creators, regardless of their size. It was really kind of focused on that small creator, friends, family, aunts, uncles, viral videos, funny dog videos, etc. And we built a business at the end of 2013 on trying to help the small creator. And then, as time progresses, you get to 2020. The 2020 election cycle kicks in, and something dramatic starts happening. I remember like very vividly because it was in the summer of 2020 that I got a phone call from the ranking member of the U.S. House Intel Committee. But to put this in perspective, I'm a Canadian.
Yeah.
Getting a call from like U.S. like a congressman, and then that's on the House Intel Committee and the Gang of 8 member is like, holy shit, am I under investigation? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I was freaking out. And I get a phone call from him, and he asks like a really simple question. He's like, Chris, if I bring my podcast to Rumble and I search for my name, am I going to find it? And I'm like, yeah, like thinking that, there's some censorship investigation going on in the House. And I'm like, absolutely. And he's like, okay, so we're going to bring it and we're going to see if that happens. And I'm like, okay. So, talking to my engineers, making sure if you typed in Devin Nunes, it's going to come up, Devin Nunes podcast. But yeah, it worked. And, this is the craziest thing, because you have an elected member of Congress, a Gang of 8 member, the ranking member of the House Intel Committee that's been on YouTube for 4 years prior to me speaking to him. And he's got like road signs in his district promoting his YouTube channel and his podcast on YouTube. He comes to Rumble, and within 2 to 3 months, he has like 200,000 to 300,000 subscribers on Rumble. Whereas on YouTube, in the 4 years that he was there, he has 10,000.
Wow.
So how is that possible? How is it that you can have 10,000 and you're like promoting in your district for 4 years, you've had your podcast on there, and you go to a different platform, and all of a sudden you go to Rumble and get 200,000 to 300,000 subs overnight, like in 2 to 3 months? That shouldn't happen. Not to an elected member of Congress, but that did happen. And that was that was kind of like the opening that we saw, is that there was a real opportunity here to kind of really like with what these other platforms were doing, we can now step in and like it almost goes back to the same premise of starting Rumble in itself, that the prioritization that was happening to big creators was now happening to the the deprioritization that was happening to small creators is now happening to massive creators on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they were deprioritizing them in some way, shape, or form. Because I remember I would go there and I would search Devin Nunes podcast, and you couldn't find it. When you go to Rumble, you find it. And this was like, this obviously led to like Dan Bongino coming onto the platform.
Yes.
And once he came on, everything changed.
He's huge.
He brought on at that time Diamond and Silk came on, Dinesh D'Souza came on. It was like a flood of creators after he came on. The floodgates opened, and within a year we had the 45th president of the United States on Rumble.
Yeah.
And that happened, I think, in midsummer of 21. So I would say by the midsummer of 2021, we had a pretty good lock on the conservative world, in terms of the political world on Rumble.
Yeah.
We had pretty much, everyone that you can think of. Obviously some weren't there, but a lot of them were there. And that sent us into this massive growth stage where we went from 1 million monthly active users to 30-40 million monthly active users in a span of a year or two. Yeah. We took in our first outside capital. We raised money from JD Vance's Narya Capital, Peter Thiel, and Colt Ventures, and even Vivek Ramaswamy was in that first round that we
shout out to him.
Yeah.
That we
a lot of
did.
people don't know he was kind of one of the early investors in it.
Yeah. And that was in mid 2021, May, I would say, April, May-ish time period. And then, fast forward to 2022, we end up going public in September of 2022 and a multi-billion-dollar market cap valuation. And that brings us to where we are today, here in the Fresh and Fit podcast studios.
Let's
stock
fucking
is
go,
going up
baby.
too as well.
I gotta ask you this, Chris, because I noticed this when Elon Musk did an interview, and he said one of the first things he noticed when he took over X was that there was a considerable amount of censorship on conservative creators versus liberal creators, and that's just on X where you're texting things. Would you say you saw that also on the video sharing side, where you got guys like Don Bongino, congressmen, etc., that might have conservative belief systems getting suppressed in big tech?
So something was going on, something is going on.
Okay.
I don't operate these other companies. I can't speak to what they're doing, but I can tell you what I observe and the anecdotes that I see. But when you have someone like Congressman Devin Nunes go from 10,000 on YouTube to 200,000 to 300,000, and now close, I think he passed 1 million on Rumble now, subscribers on Rumble. That shouldn't happen.
Yep.
You can call that censorship. You can call that some type of shadow banning. In these cases, they weren't actually banned. They were, they were censored in some way, shape, or form, and that was happening. And it didn't seem to be coming from multiple from all sides of the aisle. But I will say that that's changed a lot in the recent years. The censorship has now kind of gone into various different areas. We've attracted people from both sides of the aisle now on Rumble. We had, I remember it was 2021, and Russell Brand shows up on Rumble, and he's not a conservative by and he's, at least in my understanding, he's not a conservative. Yeah. But he shows up randomly. I didn't know till 2 weeks after he showed up in late 2021 that he showed up on Rumble. And, we also attracted the former Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard onto the platform in 2021. We brought on Glenn Greenwald as well. So it really kind of expanded more than just conservatives. And today it's far more now. Now we have, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on the platform, also using our cloud as well. So it's really we're really kind of in all areas with content in all areas now. And but yeah, to answer your question, something was going on and probably still is going on, if I had to guess. Yeah. When it comes to censorship and political candidates, etc. And I actually think something worse will happen this time around. So in 2020 and 2021, we saw a litany of bannings happen.
Yep.
Due to COVID, etc.
J6, all that.
Yeah, all different types of reasons. They found a reason to ban a lot of people. I think the new type of censorship is going to be far more intelligent, and I'm already seeing a lot of signs of it.
Yep.
It's not banning someone is like super obvious. You can see it, you can feel it, you know it's there, and you can fight against that. You know, people will scream like, and they'll that word will spread. But when you're shadow banned in an intelligent way, where let's say AI gets involved, and you know your content's coming and showing up to your loyal users, but not showing up to the users outside of that loyal base, now that's getting intelligent, and you don't know you're banned. You don't know you're shadow banned. I think that's the next iteration of censorship. I think it's already starting to happen on platforms.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents. I think it's going to be an incredibly intelligent censorship operation in the next few years. I think the banning, they learned a lesson, and because, you know, in a lot of ways, it opened up opportunities for other companies.
Alternative platforms.
Like now you're seeing a whole economy emerge, like, and now they're like changing their rules. YouTube's like, okay, we can talk about elections again.
Yeah.
So like they're clearly adapting, and they're I do think a lot of these platforms are going to be participating in some really intelligent style censorship that we can't see or very easily detect, and it's going to be all done through AI and technology.
Interesting.
I would argue it's happening right now. Wink, wink. Chris.
I think it is happening right now. I'm seeing some evidence of that happening right now. The censorship that I'm starting to see or hear about is very deceptive. I think like the year of 2024, I think deception is going to accelerate to a level that the people that we might think are on our side are not really on our side. I think deception is at a whole new level in the next couple of years, and that kind of dovetails into like censorship. And I can see the fakeness. I can sense it. I can smell it. It's there, but it's just very hard for people to see.
I think the idea of the Trojan horse is very relevant in today's current climate. But Chris, the word free speech is thrown around a lot, you know, from different platforms, different people. What's your definition of free speech?
It's a good question. So I particularly don't use the word free speech. I'm from Canada. I use the word freedom of expression, which is it's in the UN Declaration of Human Rights, Article 19. It's a human right that you have the ability to speak freely, free speech, freedom of expression. To me, it's the same thing. But online, there are like gates that you have to abide by. Anyone that's claiming they're free speech absolutist online is not being authentic. You cannot be. To the definition of what we understand a free speech absolutist is. Like, and it bothers me when I hear people say like, I'm a free speech absolutist, and then the next thing you see is there's a compliance with the government or whatever, and it's just nonsense. It's not real.
Right.
So like, it's hard to say that Rumble is like a free speech absolutist platform. It's not, because there's guardrails that force us not to be, and that comes into the whole technology ecosystem. Like, Rumble is the tip of spear, in my opinion, in terms of mass size. That's pushing and tilting the system back into place to the way we understood the internet to be. We're the tip of the spear. I really believe that. And we do things that other platforms don't, even when they, claim that they're free speech. And I'm not sitting here and claiming Rumble is a free speech absolutist platform. It can't be, because of the app stores. The app stores are guardrails.
Yeah.
If we want to reach the mass market, you have to abide by the app stores.
Yeah.
Period. So that's like one major guardrail. The other guardrail for other companies, which we do not have, and it's very unique to us in this system, is the cloud. Parler. We all know Parler. They got shut down after January 6th, based on the premise that, a lot of things were organized from Parler. But the facts of the matter is Facebook and other platforms participated far more than Parler, but they didn't get deplatformed like Parler did. So they got treated very unfairly in that situation. And the guardrail there was obviously the app stores were one problem, but the more important problem for them, the one that turned the lights out, the one that put them basically out of business from our perspective, is Amazon, AWS. They shut off the lights. They didn't know where to put the website. They couldn't find a host. They couldn't find a cloud provider.
Yeah.
This was like a major wake-up call for us at the time, because at the time, Rumble was running on bare metal. It wasn't using any of the incumbent cloud platforms, but it was running on bare metal. And bare metal is great because you're leasing servers, and you're kind of building on top of it, but it's not good enough. And I'll tell you guys a story that no one knows, and I'll tell it today.
All right.
Exclusive.
Yeah, a little exclusive here for the Fresh and Fit pod. But we were on bare metal, and that was good at the time. It was enough to sustain us through a period where no incumbent cloud platform can knock us out. We're distributed with multiple companies, multiple server companies, and we were able to survive on that basis at that point in time. But it became really apparent for us that that wasn't good enough, and that we needed to invest, we needed to get investment, and we needed to invest heavily in building our own cloud. And not only did I see it as existential for Rumble, I know it's existential. I'll give you this example that I've never told. Not only is it existential for Rumble to be on our own cloud, but I also felt there was a need for other companies like Parler or whatever it may be, whether it's a religious university that Amazon AWS doesn't agree with on a religious perspective, or whether it's a business that doesn't have the same values as Amazon AWS. So we decided to launch build a cloud that's not just for Rumble, the existential threat to Rumble, but for the greater public. And we launched it last week, which is a huge milestone. Rumble now doesn't have the guardrail of someone else telling us on an acceptable use policy at the host level. No one's turning the lights off anymore on Rumble. That's not happening. And now every business out there can have trust in a provider that won't turn the lights off on them based on some ideological or some opinion that someone might have, or some thought, or some any type of expression they might have. It's not gonna. We're going to be operating very differently than Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, GCP, and Microsoft Azure. So that did happen. But let me step back. I think I'm just trying to remember the date. It might have been, I think it was July 4th weekend where we had.
This year?
It was, I think, 23.
Okay.
It could have been 22, actually. It might have been 22 or 23. It's either 23 or 22.
Yeah.
Where when was the Russia war? When did that start?
I think 21 it started.
So it's probably 22 then.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the date. The time flies and dates get all mixed up in my mind.
Yeah. Or 22. I think it started February 2022.
Where
yeah.
We actually, behind the scenes, and we already had a lot of infrastructure by this period kind of built out, where Rumble was sitting on had the available infrastructure in place, our own servers, the ones that we actually own and bought with our money. And we were setting up a CDN, we were setting up the cloud, we're setting it all up. And we get a notice from, at the time, it was IBM saying they're shutting us down.
Wow.
That happened on a July 4th weekend.
Did they even say why? Or
it was so brutal. They couldn't cite a policy. They didn't have a policy that we violated. We didn't violate anything. They were citing EU stuff, not American stuff. And you know, at that point in time, it was it was all hands on deck that weekend, and it was like a miracle. Like all our engineers came on deck. We moved everything as much as we possibly could over to Rumble, the Rumble infrastructure, and we survived without even the lights going off for a second because we just invested in the right place at the right time. And you know, it was way faster than I thought it was going to have to happen, but we did it, and it was like I remember I tweeted something on that weekend on July 4th, like this was like, you know, July 4th. It happened. We were literally, you know, we were defending and protecting freedom of expression more than anyone at that very moment, and our whole team was working overnight that whole weekend on July 4th weekend. And it's like a story that I hold very, very dearly to myself. And it's one that, you know, all the engineers that were behind that and getting that up, they're heroes. They're like heroes for doing that. And that happened behind the scenes. And now we're at a place where, you know, it's many years past that now. Now we have our own cloud. We're, you know, uncancelable. We were uncancelable at that moment too.
Yeah.
Which was great. But like it was, you know, we didn't want to go 100% on our hardware at that point in time.
Yeah,
it was like we were
course.
trying to do it nicely.
And I think that's something that people underestimate, Chris, about you, is that like all the work that goes behind the scenes. I mean, daily there's articles criticizing you. Daily there's people saying terrible things about you. Daily they're trying to shut you down. Daily they're trying to tarnish your character, the business's character, etc. Like, you know, we always say, you know, freedom of speech isn't free. Like that's literally like the quintessential example. Like people are constantly trying to come at you guys. How do you deal with that, man?
You know what? It's
because that's just one story. But I wish you guys knew some of the other stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Obviously, we're not going to talk about here.
People don't understand how much pressure Rumble gets on a daily basis.
You know what though? Like
it's crazy.
I asked that question. Why did Mark Zuckerberg fold on all the things that he's folded on? I ask this question all the time, and you know, the answer to me is like pretty simple. It's pretty easy to be strong. I just think there's a lot of weak people right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm defending a human right.
Yeah.
Period. That should be pretty easy. For me, it's pretty easy. Why it's hard for everybody else, you know, that's a question we need to ask them. I'm happy defending that human right. It makes me proud. But, you know, the sad part is how many weak people there are out there not doing that and folding to like any type of criticism that they have. It just requires a little bit of strength, you know, and that's what this company, Rumble's built on. It's built on strength. It's built on pushing back. It's built on telling governments to, you know, pound sand.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
look at the Russell Brand situation. They sent you that letter, right? I remember you posted on X how when Russell Brand got canceled or demonetized, they asked you, hey, is Russell Brand monetized on Rumble? And they were trying to get him demonetized on Rumble as well. And you basically told them to go pound sand, which is huge because other platforms always bend the knee to governments. What's that like taking on governments? Because the UK isn't the only government that's come after you guys. I mean, obviously we've talked about France, Brazil, etc. What's that like, man?
So the UK situation was absurd. It was like,
Sent you that letter, I remember.
yeah, you know, an MP, I believe, I don't remember exactly, sent us a letter to say, hey, like, demonetize Russell Brand, do this, blah, blah, blah.
Crazy.
And I'm like, what law? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Like, just because you say so?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? And you know what the scary part is, though? All the other platforms did it.
Yep.
And I'm like, why?
It's a good question.
Like-
Scary times.
It's like, you saw the letter. We put it out there publicly.
He
TikTok
never even got
it as
arrested,
well.
dude. It was merely one accusation. Like nothing came out.
These
and
are
they just,
accusations from people we don't even know.
yeah.
They didn't even name the names. They're anonymous accusations, I think they are. From like
Yeah.
20 years ago. And like, that's not my business.
Yeah.
Like our business is video. It's streaming. It's like it's an online video platform. It's VOD. It's that's our business. That's my focus. If I were going to sit here and judge every single character on what they do in their personal lives. If YouTube is going to do that, well, they got to start digging a lot more, because there's a lot of people on their platform they're going to have issues with if they start digging, because like anonymous accusations, that's a pretty broad reason to try to deplatform someone from a video platform.
Yeah.
Like that's it's just ridiculous. Like it's upsetting to see how there's no backbone at any other platform out there when it comes to this type of stuff. Like, focus on your business. Your business is, if your business is video, it's video. If your business is to like pursue crimes that other people did, then that's your business. Like, but like, don't tell me that that's what we have to do now.
Yeah.
Like, we're just a video platform, and we have our terms of service, and if you abide by them, great. That's all we're focused on. But if he doesn't, you know, if someone does something that's illegal in society and does something wrong, that's society's judicial process to take care of that. That's not Rumble's process. That's not Rumble's obligation. Yeah. We're just a video platform. Leave us alone. We just want to operate a great video platform.
Now, Chris, there are creators that do cross the line sometimes, a little bit too far, you would say, on some platforms. How does Rumble handle that? For example, they cross the line where it's like maybe
Inciting violence or something.
Violence, or maybe even like corn, you know?
Yeah.
How does...
So, you know, obviously we have a terms of service. We do not allow a lot of types of like we do not allow inciting and violence. We do not allow pornography, etc. So, you know, that you have to abide by. You have to abide by our terms of service. And like I said, there is no platform that I know of that's of mass scale that sits on their own cloud that has to adhere to their cloud. But there are the guardrails of the app stores, and everyone needs to be conscious of that and aware of that. And until someone comes up with another phone to compete against that market, that's the guardrail we're going to have to be a part of. Like, if you want to have any sort of mass market appeal, you have to be in the app stores, plain and simple. So when it comes to that type of stuff, it's, you know, there's obviously very strict policies in place. And also, like, you know, one of the things we like to do differently, and we're trying to figure this out, like one of the things that happens on YouTube that gets taken advantage of are DMCAs, for example, copyright. That's part of the law. You got to take it down. You know, we got to strike accounts if they violate copyrights. You got to ban accounts if they do it too often. But like, one of the things we like to do is, like, I don't like the idea of like a permanent ban unless it's like some fraudulent type of behavior, like spamming and stuff like that. But when it comes to like copyrights, you want to kind of reach out to the creator, give them the option rather than strike them, but give them the option, give them a window to take it down. It might have to be fast because, you know, there's liability there, but like, kind of work with the creator in a different way than the other platforms have to kind of like help them, you know, get into policy and not violate and not ruin their whole businesses and livelihoods because they made a mistake they were not aware of. Innocent mistakes happen all the time. And then there's a lot of like mobbing happening where someone will just like doesn't like bots. Somebody and send like a whole crowd to take that out. And we see that all the time. And like, we're like, guys, this is Rumble. We're not gonna fall for that shit. Like, but it still happens. It's like, it's unbelievable, like how they assemble activists to try to take people out, and that, you know, that works really well on these other platforms. It doesn't work on Rumble though.
That's good though. Because you're giving the creator a chance to say, you know what, this is my platform, but you know what, regarding your actual content, fix it up real quick. We'll make sure that you're good to go on the platform still, rather than saying, oh, you're out of here completely, you're gone, you're banned. That's good.
Besides Russell Brand, you were also there, you know, obviously you were behind us when we got demonetized, but when Andrew Tate got canceled everywhere, you were there as well. Can you tell us like how that came to be, and how you guys built that relationship? Because obviously, you know, the Tate brothers are huge on Rumble, but how'd that come to fruition? Yeah, no,
the Andrew Tate channel on Rumble, you know, so Dan Bongino has definitely, you know, put us on the map. He brought in like massive amount of users onto the platform. It really kind of, that's where, you know, a lot of the magic happened. When Andrew Tate came on, believe it or not, he was the second largest after Bongino that had influence in terms of like app downloads and subscribers. I think he's almost at 2 million on Rumble already. That August, the wave was enormous, and same idea. Like all the platforms just turn someone off, and we don't know why.
All one by
these
one.
Accusations.
Starts like Instagram, then Facebook,
It's
then
the
YouTube.
same story with a lot of these creators, and it's just like, we were pursuing to get them onto the platform even prior to when that happened, but it's just unbelievable how it all happened, and the impact that he had on Rumble, I think, is enormous. He was like, he had us, I think, #1 in the App Store for quite some time at that point in time. And that was when Rumble needed a lot of work. Our UI was, I think a lot of people still remember us from that era, which is now, 2 years ago almost. So, a lot of people remember us from that era where we didn't have product teams. We were a small company, just raised money for the first time ever. Remember in 21, when Peter came in, that was the first time I raised money.
Wow.
For this company. In 2013, I went to everyone. I actually went to one of Peter Thiel's venture capitalist firms and pitched them. And like everyone thought, like, you're crazy competing against YouTube. What are you thinking? And by 2021, like that was our first investment from Peter, JD, Vivek, Colt, etc. And we didn't have the best UI, we didn't have the best software. We had a lot of improvements to make, and we, I think we made a ton of progress. And you guys have seen it. You guys are like going through the pains with us. And people don't understand something when it comes to Rumble. We're not just building software on top of Amazon's technology, their cloud, or even their live streaming software. We're actually building software that sits on top of our hardware, where we're plugging in the wires ourselves, and we got to make all this stuff work. Like there's so many things happening here, and that's why we're uncancelable. But like, and that's the benefit of it. But like, we have so much more work to do because of what we stand for and what we do in this world, that it's not as quick as some people like it to be. But I think now the velocity with the teams we have in place is increased dramatically. And I think we're at a point right now where we're ahead on features now than some other platforms. We're ahead in certain areas. We're behind in others, but I think we can be very ahead in a lot of different ways by the end of this year, on the majority of aspects to the platform. So
and people underestimate how hard it is to actually be independent. It is not easy, guys, to like stand up to these big companies that have a huge infrastructure. They have a head start. They have Google behind them, etc. So for you guys to be able to build up your own infrastructure, it's going to take some time. And which, by the way, guys, we'll have a Q&A at the end here. So if you guys have any questions for Chris, whatever, as far as like Rumble goes, on the future, etc. Q&A. We will go ahead and answer those questions for you. We got y'all. But sorry. So you guys obviously are improving. You guys recently, a couple big developments recently. I guess we could start with Barstool Sports, then another thing. So you guys recently got Barstool Sports on board. How did that come about?
Yeah,
that's huge a pickup.
Yeah, it was a big pickup for us. So we got the whole Barstool portfolio on Rumble. It's a partnership that extends not just on content but also cloud, and also an advertising relationship as well. So it was a great pickup for us. The thing I like the most about the Barstool deal is Dave is now an equity holder of Rumble. He didn't come for the purpose of only taking cash. He wanted mostly equity, and he took mostly equity, and that's exciting to me, to have like a partner that really wants to get behind this business and help it a lot. I just did a pizza review with him a couple of weeks ago. He came to the offices. Great guy. Excited to be working with those guys. So it's great because that really kind of helps us build that Rumble Sports portfolio. We have the UFC in Canada, so you can actually do pay-per-view in Canada for the UFC on Rumble. And we have the Power Slap, which you guys have been to the event.
Huge
That's
event.
growing like crazy. You guys, Who came? I know you came to the last one, right?
Yeah, I
you didn't
think-
come,
yeah.
right? Were you there?
I missed it. I
Okay.
literally just missed it.
That do you see the lineup
You
that came
guys
out there?
had Travis Scott there.
We had
That's huge.
everyone there.
Everybody was there.
Yeah.
It was like insane. So like this sport, the trajectory of this sport, I think someone just wrote an article about it like a week ago. But the trajectory, the demand, the amount of people that want to be there, and the way we're building this sport, like via influencers, I think is
That was genius.
I think it's something very special. And Rumble's got the exclusive distribution rights to that, which is like a big deal for us. We also have Street League skateboarding. We have the exclusive rights to all of that. You know, you wouldn't picture Rumble as being the place for skateboarding, but it is. We also have Nitro Rallycross Racing. We got Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships on Rumble. We have a lot of stuff, and then we added Barstool to. You know, we're really kind of pushing that sports category in a way that you know, in the last year, that has become like the main category of investment for Rumble, and it's helped us broaden our audience and
about
change the perspective of the platform.
WWE.
You know, that's a great question. I've had conversations about this internally and externally as well. You know, we would, you know, all that type of stuff. We eventually want to make moves for. We want everything on Rumble. We're not, you know, we're very agnostic. So like whether it's any sport out there or any type of entertainment or in any category, we want to make a move for, and you know I'm all for it. Like the WWE, I think would be, you know, a good match for the current audience that we have. So it's a good idea, and who knows what happens in the future. But you know, we're gonna pursue all different types of content all the time.
I can say this with all authority, and I want to say grace. When I was at the Power Slap event, yo, the anticipation waiting for that slap to happen to somebody is incredible.
So quiet
You're
in
on
there.
your seat like, is he gonna get knocked out? It's so crazy, bro. But tell the Power Slap and Dana
Yeah.
White, really good.
So you guys got Barstool. You know, obviously the app is improving. The whole experience that you guys launched, Rumble Studio as well, the cloud. There's also some new developments recently that came out like literally less than a week ago with TikTok. Can you tell us what's going on with that? Give the people kind of an overview of what's going on with TikTok and how Rumble is adapting to it.
Yeah. So I'll step back in terms of like.
We got the clips too. If you want me to play that first,
Sure. Yeah.
you want to play that first?
Yeah, a bill's being passed, right?
Yeah. We can show it real fast and then I guess you can comment on it. Is this from Fox News, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, both of them. All right, we're gonna share a screen with y'all real fast because this is some big stuff right here.
There are many U.S. platforms to tap, and believe me, the conversation's going on every morning since this bill got momentum in the House. From 7 a.m. to 10 o'clock, I'm on the phone. Think about this. Where do you serve it from? Well, we've got something like a Rumble here domestically that serves up podcast videos in a higher definition, in longer form. They could serve up TikTok. We could move a lot of it onto there. There's all kinds of players you got to put together. I'm going to be in that mix, Stuart. I love this deal. It's hairy, it's scary, but it's got huge value.
And then there's another one, right? Yeah, there you go.
Last week, we were filled with conversation about TikTok and what should happen. The House passed it in quite a bipartisan fashion. This now goes over to the Senate. And then over the weekend, we hear this, that there are rumored ByteDance buyers that are putting themselves together. We have Steve Mnuchin, might be familiar to everyone, former Treasury Secretary under President Trump. We have Kevin O'Leary, of course, you know him. Bobby Kotick, he's a former Activision CEO. And then someone I don't know, Chris Pavlovski of Rumble. So there
You don't know
is
Chris?
a potential buyer. Would that be a good solution for everybody so that it's sold off and everybody gets to keep using the app?
I think it would be a good solution. Right now, TikTok to me is a national security threat. Why? Because it's under the control of the Chinese Communist Party. That's the threat component of it when we have 170 million Americans whose information is under that same control. So they can use it to spy on us. You know how people get very mad when we hear of a spy balloon going overhead, or from us in the West where you see that China is buying farmland, ranch land near military installations. This is much, much worse in terms of what they're trying to do. I met with the CEO of TikTok last week. He was in Washington, and I said, look, The problem is not TikTok itself, it's the problem of the ownership. And if we can find a group like we have here, I think it would make the solution better. Continue with TikTok, but not controlled by the Chinese Communist Party.
We'll see how that goes.
Boom.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, man, if you could comment on that a little bit. That's big news.
W Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we put a letter out there that we expressed interest in TikTok. The way I see it right now, this has to go through multiple iterations. The House just passed the bill, and then the Senate has to pass it, and then I think Biden said that he would sign it if the Senate passes it.
Yeah.
And then that would obligate them to divest.
You think this is something we could see in 2024? Or would this have to come into play with whoever the president is at the end?
I think we're going to know more in the next 30 to 60 days.
Oh, wow. That's
I think this is going to be very fast, and we're going to know a lot in the next couple months here. And it really just depends on the Senate, I think, on what happens in the Senate. But when you take a look at it, and the letter really kind of talks about us being the technology partner, but when you look at this potential acquisition of TikTok and how this has to happen, we expressed interest of wanting to be part of a consortium and being the tech partner on it on the cloud side. And Kevin is right on in one aspect, Kevin O'Leary that you saw in the clip there, but Meta is not going to be able to do anything here because of antitrust concerns. Google, same reason. They're not going to be able to step in either because of antitrust concerns. So when you're looking out there, who is a video company that one could help in some capacity? Rumble is long form. Yeah. TikTok's short form. So that's high res down a low res. That and it's only the United States. It's not global. So how many other video companies out there that have that capability to understand how to run video, both on video at all?
Yeah.
There really isn't any that I can think of off the top of my head. And how many people, the big other problem that any consortium is going to have, or any buyer is going to have, is the algorithm.
Yes.
Because I don't believe the way the law is set up in China that ByteDance will be able to sell the algorithm due to their IP restrictions in China. So someone has to build the algorithm for video and understand video in order to step in with TikTok. And that's what company does that. Obviously YouTube does it. Obviously Meta does it. But really, all the companies out there that do that are going to have antitrust concerns. So
even Twitch, right? You would say? So
Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Twitch is part of Amazon, and they're more just live streaming. They're not in that kind of space yet.
Pre-recorded short form content. Yep.
In algo based stuff. So, one of the things we're working on Rumble behind the scenes, because it's been a big problem, is our search and our recommendation algorithm. And we've hired data scientists to be working on this for quite some time now. So our recommendation algorithms and our data scientists are obviously working on this. So what other company out there is actually working on algorithms for video? Question for you. I think it's when you look at it, it's just Rumble's obviously they got the cloud. We are obviously working on algorithms. I think I think Kevin said it best.
I got a question. If you guys were to acquire TikTok, would you guys acquire it intact the way it is, or would you guys have to change the name? Would you guys have to change a substantial amount of data behind it? How much would you guys have to change when you acquire, or could you guys keep it fairly similar to what it is now?
Yeah. So first, we don't know what that would look like and how the divestment from ByteDance would look like, and what that would entail and all the details of it. And second, we want to be part of a consortium, so not just us, obviously, but this is a very expensive transaction.
Yeah.
And we want to be the tech partner in that. So those are a lot of questions that would be better answered at a later date, depending on how everything flows. It really depends, what the bills look like, what actually ends up happening. Right now, it's just it's a little bit of a jump ball in the sense that we don't know what the Senate's going to do yet.
Right.
And
speculation.
we have to wait and see what the Senate does. And my opinion on that is that it's changed. I would say like I was maybe like a month ago thinking no way it could ever pass, but I think like things are changing a little bit. It could pass. It's definitely changing after how the House passed it. It's definitely changing. I don't know what will happen.
I got one more. If you guys acquired it, right, would you guys be able to implement a similar free speech / free expression model to that TikTok?
At this point, we don't know. Like,
Okay.
we don't know what anything will look like. We don't know what the consortium would look like. There's a lot of unknowns at this point in
Gotcha.
time.
Almost like when Elon got Twitter, he unbanned a bunch of people. So I guess
Yeah,
for
we're
us,
banned on TikTok.
we'd be grateful to get unbanned on TikTok
Yeah.
as well. That'll be like, hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are banned on TikTok?
Yeah,
dude.
like
Yeah.
20 times,
And here's
bro.
the thing: we got banned. We got
30
banned on
times.
TikTok back before TikTok was cool like that. We
Yeah.
got banned in 2020 when it
Yeah.
was just starting to take off in the
Wow.
beginning of the pandemic. So it's like.
remember-
Now we blow up on TikTok because people repost our stuff. But as
Yeah.
far as like us having official accounts on TikTok, we haven't had
remember.
official accounts since December 2020.
Clear as
Wow.
day. We were just getting into the content game, trying to push ourselves to be marketed on different platforms.
I remember the day we got canceled. Me and you were at the barbershop. Remember that?
We're walking by Blackbird recording TikTok videos. The title was, I remember clear as day. Punishing women
Walking
for bad
by
behavior.
where?
Blackbird. It's like
Okay.
a local lounge
Yeah, I was filming
down the street.
TikToks, and one of my videos went viral. Like, you got to
Punishing
punish
bad
bad behavior from women when they flake on dates. That went viral, and that video led to us blowing up, but it also led to us like getting banned off TikTok.
We had like 3 million views on the first day.
Yeah.
And we got banned for it.
Yeah, like a week later,
But-
the accounts were all gone.
But hey,
And they,
it
they
worked.
broadcast it on the reel.
But now we still, because now when people meet me or whatever, they'll say, yo, I love your content, whatever. They always say, oh, I found you on TikTok.
TikTok.
So people are still reposting our stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have an official account on there.
Yeah.
So, bro, I hope y'all acquire it, man.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
real,
I
man.
think it'd be better for the creators anyway. Like, I know a lot of people are scared, like, no, don't get rid of TikTok. But I think you guys having it would be a lot better than
Who would
whoever
be a-
controls it now.
Who would be who is more qualified on the operator and the tech side?
I don't know.
I really want to ask that question
Yeah.
because like I sincerely believe that Rumble, like I can't think of anybody
It'll be
outside
easy
of
mode for
Rumble.
you guys. You guys are able to
because
host hours
you
of video.
can't have Google step in. You can't have Meta step in. Like they all have antitrust concerns.
Yeah.
What about Kick?
Shit. Actually, that segues perfectly into the next question. Chris, what's your thoughts on alternative platforms besides Rumble that are kind of fighting the fight against YouTube and Twitch, etc. Kick, BitChute. I'm trying to think of the other. There's a few others that I can't think of right now. Odyssey, etc. What's your thoughts on all these other alternative platforms?
It's a great thing.
Okay.
And as a creator, it's the best thing. It creates competition is so good
Yeah.
for creators. And in the live streaming space, like Kick is they're doing a great job acquiring talent, creating a market for talent, and that helps creators. Like one of the things I don't get is like you see YouTubers and they're just like they'll like knock like platforms and they'll trash platforms that aren't like YouTube or Twitch, and you're like I'm sitting there and I'm like that's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard
Yeah.
because like their economy gets better if we succeed.
Yeah.
Their economics get
Yeah.
better if we succeed. They're having Kick and Rumble and BitChute and Odyssey is an amazing thing for the economics of creators.
Overall,
yeah.
Overall.
Facts.
Like you want that to happen as a creator. So from the creator perspective, it's a great thing. From the market perspective, it's a great thing. Like competition is great. It makes everybody better. It forces Rumble to do better. It forces Twitch to do better. All these things are great things. And we see this as an opportunity too for us. Like one is BitChute. They started using the Rumble Advertising Center. So now they're starting to monetize. So like we're helping them monetize. We see this as like Rumble has 4 amazing assets. And this is the way I look at the business. The prime asset, like the one that we're all familiar with, is the video platform that competes against YouTube. The second asset is the Rumble Advertising Center. I refer to that as RAC. And companies like BitChute and many others are now using RAC to monetize their sites. And it's not just for Rumble, but it's for other people. So if anybody wants to step in and bring ads onto their site, RAC is going to do that for them. We're competing directly against Google AdSense and Google Ad Exchange and Google Ads. And that's Rack, another amazing asset. In perspective, Google bought DoubleClick, their ad server, for billions of dollars. We built this in the last year and a half. We didn't spend billions of dollars doing that. So I see that as like an incredible asset that this business has. The third one is we got cloud. Like cloud. Rumble has a cloud. Like that's
huge.
That's incredible. Like we can now compete directly with Amazon AWS and or Microsoft Azure. I see that as an opportunity. Like all these companies that want to be closer to free speech and want to move into that direction, why aren't they using our cloud? That's a great place to be. So I see them all as potential customers. Hopefully one day, I see our assets kind of like a lot of our assets can work for them. And then the fourth asset that we have is a studio, which is completely different and completely new. It's not something that Google has. I think this is kind of going to be one of our weapons in really competing in this whole ecosystem, is giving the ability for all creators, big or small, to run ads, run right directly in their live streams through using Rumble Studio and multi-streaming to all platforms. So, and that is also a great tool for every single one of the platforms. So for us, I see the whole market as an opportunity, and I don't see any single one as a negative. I see it as a positive, especially a positive for the creator community.
Yeah.
And that's great. Like we have lots of opportunity with all these companies, and I want to tap into that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
No, it's good. So yeah, I could read some of these chats because I know you guys probably have some questions and stuff like that. So yeah, man, get your questions in now, guys. With Rumble ran it in. What do we got here? Laura Loomer, shout out to her. She goes, Chris, thank you for all you do for free speech. Why do you think the media always sims for Elon Musk instead of giving you more credit? That's a damn good question. And who is behind the Media Matters hit pieces against you?
Ooh.
Yeah, well, Elon Musk is Elon Musk. He's one of the richest men in the world, so obviously.
I mean, we could pull up that article real quick, real fast. I mean, people don't know, but you do it pretty well yourself. It says here, 1.8 bill. Pretty damn good, man.
Hey, Chris, we're friends, right? We're friends, right, bro? Okay.
And that's from Bloomberg, so.
Yeah, no, Elon's Elon. He's he acquired Twitter, and he's made Twitter far better than what it was.
Yeah.
Nothing but praise for that.
I'd argue there's less censorship on Rumble than on X, though. X is good, but I think you guys
X is
are
not
more
the
free
tip of the
speech.
spear when it comes to freedom of expression. Rumble's the tip of the spear for
Yeah.
freedom of expression. We shut down countries when they tell us to turn off creators.
Bam.
Every other platform, including X, shuts off the creator when countries ask them to turn off certain creators. So yeah, in terms of like freedom of expression, we are the tip of the spear.
Absolutely.
I firmly believe that.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's not very comparable in my mind, but like anybody that's pushing and tilting the system in our direction is a positive. That's helpful to Rumble.
And you and Elon know each other, right? You guys are amicable.
Yeah, we talk.
Yeah.
So it's a positive. It's a net positive for the community. It's a net positive for freedom of expression, and that's a great thing. I'm all for that. And the second part of the question.
Yeah, let's pull that back up.
Regarding Media Matters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And who is behind the Media Matters hit pieces against you? It's like, bro, yeah. Media Matters always writes bullshit.
Yeah, that's I have some theories about this. I think it's like a web of organizations that a lot of dark money. I don't quite know that well. I think Laura probably knows better than I do when it comes to that. She's really tapped in on understanding that web. For me, it's like unraveling that has been something we've been trying to do and trying to figure out, because like it's so ridiculous what they do.
Yeah.
They will sit on our pages and refresh a page on a video that they deem inappropriate and try to find an ad and like try to destroy the reputation when doing that. It is like
Elon's suing them, isn't he?
yeah, he's suing them for that exact reason,
Yeah,
and
that's why he's
we
suing
have
them.
the same evidence with Media Matters with when it comes to that of them doing that. Like they literally had an account on Rumble. We know which one is theirs. We saw how many times they refreshed the page. It's like
Caught a red-handed.
Caught
bro.
in 4K.
it's so like it's so absurd. Like the agenda is like obviously to distort and like hurt us, and it's upsetting to see that because like I never thought 10 years ago, you know, I was always suspicious of a lot of stuff, but like I never thought it was this corrupt.
You can see it now.
It's I'm just my fear is the corruption is going to get a lot smarter, and a lot of people aren't seeing shit anymore. I feel like in the last year people think it's getting better, but really it's like I think people are getting they're getting tricked in a lot of ways.
This is election year, right? What do you predict is going to happen with creators that are pushing certain ideas and ideologies?
Like I said, I think the censorship's going to get extremely intelligent.
Yeah, more subtle than before.
You're not going to know what's happening. I think this is going to be a whole different animal this year in terms of censorship. And many people, unless you're really tapped in and really understand, you're not going to see it and you're not going to understand it. And you're not going to know who the authentic person is and who's not. I think there's going to be a lot of tricks. I think there already are. And, you know, unless you're really tapped in and you know, it's going to be very difficult it's so difficult. I think the people that do know don't even know. I think like it's going to be that difficult. But AI is like
dangerous.
AI is so interesting. Like I've been really, really exploring and trying to understand it. And like in so many ways, it's like so scary. What the capabilities are here and how fast it's moving, and it's like that's a rabbit hole that can get pretty scary once you go down it.
Okay. We got here. Who's up next? Yo, big shout out to Chris, bro. No other CEO of a platform is doing this with its creators other than Elon, but Rumble is on its way to be a massive 100. Thanks for this platform. Finally, a sane human being running a site. Absolutely, man.
Wait a minute, Chris. Are you the first billionaire on the show? I just thought about it. Are you the first billionaire on the show? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Because I don't know if Grant Cardone and them count because they control real estate that they allegedly is worth that much. But as far as like being liquided, yeah. I think you're the first one,
I
bro.
don't even know if these articles are real that you guys are putting out.
Smart man.
Hey, man. Fight for free speech, man. Let's
He's
fucking
humble.
go.
He's humble. I like
You
it.
gotta be
He's humble.
careful when you're reading mainstream media.
Yeah.
right?
He's humble. I like it.
Corporate media is not the place I get my information from.
Kim Pop says, Chris is the new David and Big Tech is the new Goliath. We'll be praying for you, Wumble. Yeah, shout out to you, bro.
All right.
What else do we got here? Noam Billy. Chris, I love what you're doing with Rumble. I love for what it stands for, but when are you going to fix locals chat, WFNF, WB Balls, Chris Pavlovski? And yeah, shout out to Dave Rubin, actually, by the way, when
Yeah.
you talk about
He
locals.
clarifies it later.
Castle
But
Club.
yeah, so they're asking about that.
he-
What's
he's gonna
what's the
clarify it
issue with
later.
locals chat?
He's going to clarify it in another chat.
Oh, he's going to clarify in another
Okay,
chat.
great. I would love to know.
To clarify, locals live chat doesn't refresh on Android app and on PC. I have to close the entire app on phone and back out on PC. I order to get the newest comments on live chat and the constant buffering that happens during a live.
I will escalate that immediately.
Bam. There you go, my friend. Just like that. So shout out to you, Noam. Guys, get your questions in now because you got the man in the house. So anything that you guys think would, improve the user experience or whatever, Chris is really open to constructive criticism. I mean, at the end of the day, man, we're here to take over. So I told you guys before, Rumble's here to stay.
And to be frank, I don't know any other CEO that's going to sit here taking
Facts.
comments to improve his platform.
Yeah.
So this is a big W for you guys as well,
Yeah.
and Chris. So
Seriously.
yeah.
It shows the commitment to like improve and really create like the best alternative platform,
And you guys had given us, previous critiques as well, and Chris fixed them right away.
Yeah.
I remember.
True.
Yeah.
He goes, also, I want to know why after live ends on locals, we're unable to view it. So, for instance, on Crowder Live, shortly after it ends, we're unable to view it for a few hours afterwards. WFNF, W Big Balls, Chris Pavlovski.
Okay, so that is a processing limitation. So, we're not using the it would be the easiest to go out there and just use Amazon's Twitch live streaming product or live streaming products out there, or use Agora's live streaming product that does all this for them. They have, Agora's worth billions of dollars. Actually, this is actually funny. When we used Agora once and we put it on, because Locals was using Agora, not Rumble, but Locals was using Agora, and we brought Crowder onto Rumble, and then Crowder did Locals, he crashed Agora. A multi-billion-dollar company that's focused on like live streaming product crashed Agora. Meanwhile, it was running on Rumble. No, these are just simply limitations that we have because we're building this stuff from scratch and doing all the transcoding and encoding and and there's just a delay from the end of the stream to the processing of that VOD. I think Rumble's getting better at that. I wouldn't be surprised to see all this kind of humming in a really comparative way to the Amazon live streaming products by within the next couple of months. We're actually aiming to have better right now. Our latency with YouTube is pretty even if the stream setups are done
the quality
properly.
is actually better on Rumble. If you put it to the max quality on Rumble, guys, and put it side by side with YouTube, the quality on Rumble is actually better.
Yeah, that's what I definitely hear that a lot. But the latency for Twitch is far better right now. They're the best at latency. The Amazon live streaming product, which is Twitch, I guess.
Because it's designed for it, I guess.
Yeah. But we're aiming to be better than them in the next few months. So like the beauty about Rumble is that we're building it all ourselves, so we can actually be better than them and try to achieve to be better than them.
Might take longer, but it's yours.
It takes longer, but it's ours, and it will be a competitive advantage when we get there.
And no one can fuck with John.
We will get there. We are going to get there because like I care. I want to win, and I want to be better. So
like Kick runs on those servers, but Rumble doesn't. That's big, So because Kick runs on those Amazon servers, don't they?
I have not. That's what I've heard. I've never looked myself, but I hear that they're on. Everyone's on. Most people are on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's like
it's too expensive
Parler was on Amazon. Like it was. It's where everyone goes. Like that's like the easiest solution for people, and hopefully we can change that by getting everybody onto Rumble Cloud.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. I'm buying Rumble stock.
Yeah, I already have. I'm not even, bro. You guys, I'm transparent. I already have RUM, guys.
Yep.
Invest now, because I'm telling you, this is going to be the future, man. As they continue to restrict speech, especially with an election year, and it's been going up too. It's been going up. It's been surging the past few months. So hey, RUM if you guys want to know it. W Rumble W Chris, I love Rumble, but could you guys please stop autoplay on embedded videos, or at least give us the option to turn it off?
You have that option on desktop now. That was just released recently. So on desktop, you can turn that off. I'll have to check if that option is in the app. The apps are a little further behind than the web, mobile web or desktop version, but it is now there on web for sure. So it's in the video player inside the video player on the bottom. Bottom part.
1920 by 1080. Yeah, guys, you can watch it. Like, open up two tabs and watch this on Rumble and on YouTube, and go 1920 on the Rumble side and see how much clearer it is than the YouTube. Because he goes, see, not all Canadians live in igloos and repeatedly say, "Hey." Some of them can become tech CEOs. Yeah.
He does say A.
Yeah.
I say A.
Sometimes.
That's part of my vocabulary for sure.
Chris, when are you going to allow us to gift channel subscriptions and Rumble live chat?
That's coming. I would say in the next 90 days, we hopefully will have gifting of subs.
Nice. So similar to what Twitch has. Keep chilling, buy Rumble stock. Hey, man.
Facts.
I'm not telling you what to do, but that's what I'm doing.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, it's not financial advice, but I definitely bought a good amount. Mario PL, and it shot up like crazy after you guys acquired Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
And it's just going to continue. You guys have so many big creators over there. You guys got us. You got the Tates. You guys got Steven Crowder. You guys got Don Bongino. You guys got Sneeko. You guys got Kai Cenat and Speed, Academics.
Do you have any other creators that we don't know about on the platform?
You guys miss Donald Trump?
Donald Trump, of course. Yeah,
there you go.
Donald Trump's over
Everyone
there.
forgets
you
that
mentioned
he's
it
on
earlier.
Rumble.
That's why. Yeah, because you mentioned it earlier. But guys, Donald Trump's on Rumble. You know what I mean? So it's like
anybody else?
Dan Bongino is doing. He did it this morning. 120,000 live viewers every weekday morning.
Yeah.
Between 11 and 12. Crowder's close to 100,000. There's so many creators on Rumble. I guess they all are in different areas and different topics, but Yeah, we've quite a few.
Nelk recently came over.
Yeah, they're uploading their podcast on Rumble as well.
They recently came over.
I saw a rant about BlackRock and Vanguard.
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Okay. With investors like Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, will there be a censorship like on other platforms?
So search Steven Crowder and BlackRock, and
they
you
did an
can
expose.
see the letter that they sent Rumble, and you can see what Rumble did. And I think that will answer your question.
Pound Sand, once again, man. Jacasta goes, hey, Chris, thank you for fighting for free speech. With all the streamers in the game right now, who would you say is your top 3 streamers under the age of 30 right now, and why? Interesting question.
Oh, well, that's tough because
Under
I don't know
30.
who's under 30 or not. How old are you guys? Am I allowed to ask?
34. 34.
I'm 31.
Yeah.
All right, so you're under 30.
Yeah.
Not in the under 30 category. So under 30, the top streamers,
Ryska, maybe?
Sneeko?
Sneeko? Yep.
top 3. When they stream,
Yeah.
Kind Speed?
Kind Speed
They're
definitely do
early
50,000 plus live when they go live. So Kind Speed, and then I would say Sneeko is one of the big ones.
That's 3.
He's how old is he?
Like 25?
So then Sneeko.
26? Yeah, that's it. That's 3. Kai Speed and Sneeko.
Yeah.
All right. Naili, can you make Rumble downloadable from TVs?
Downloadable from TVs? Can you watch it on TVs? Absolutely. We have apps on Roku. We have apps on Samsung, Apple TV. What am I forgetting? Fire TV, Android TV, LG TV. So you can watch these shows on your big screens. You can set up your accounts and have all your channels show there. You can replace that. Replace your basic cable subscriptions with Rumble. We'd love that, obviously. Watch the Fresh and Fit pod, right?
There
Coming
you go,
soon,
guys.
Coming soon.
It's
Coming
really
soon.
important, though. That you guys all download the app and sub to the Fresh and Fit pod, because that's the way that you as creators grow. We're actually finding that when you sub only on web, they don't get hit with notifications when you go live. So when you sub on app and you download the app and you sub to your channel, that's how you get the notifications. So just make sure that's set. But yeah, we're on all the TVs, the most of them anyways. You can download the Rumble app there and watch us up there. But in order to know when your favorite streamers or your favorite content is going live, you need to sub to them on your mobile app.
Bam. What else do we got here? Question for Chris. What type of cyber attack is Rumble experiencing? A lot of people are complaining. Maybe you can clear some of it up so people can understand what's going on. Thanks, Rick.
Okay, this is a great question because we are sometime in December. We have had incredibly large attacks happening on Rumble, ones we have never seen before. I think they refer to them as HTTP layer 7 attacks. Very complicated to stop. We have DOS providers helping. We have our own stuff helping. But these attacks have been absolutely enormous and been very, very difficult for us to stem. It created a lot of downtime for us and a lot of negative, a lot of negativity around the platform just being down because of these attacks. I think now we're in a really solid state. We've really learned to defend against these attacks. We got some great partners that are helping us with that now. So this has been something that's been really annoying to deal with behind the scenes.
Hence why you guys are working to get your own infrastructure.
Yeah, and we've made some massive progress on this in the last 3-4 months, and now I think we're on a very solid basis right now. You probably saw everyone went down a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
A little bit of lag.
Rumble was up. No, but when Meta went down, YouTube went down, X went down, everyone went down with that major situation
Instagram
that
was down
happened
for a day or two.
Yeah. And Rumble was up the whole time. So was Truth Social, who's also being hosted on Rumble's cloud as well.
Bam. What else? What else do we got here? Okay, stay dangerous, Chris. Big Tech, Rumble for life. All right, shout out to you, Woozy Badass. Good evening, FNF and Chris. Shout out to Free Speech and shout out to Tate Sneeko and FNF. They are the reason I'm using this app. Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to you, bro.
What else?
Emmanuel Angel.
Oh, hello, Chris. Can you add a feature like YouTube where you can have premium and pay monthly to have no ads on all videos and replays? Thank you for standing up for freedom of speech and expression. Good question.
We have that already, so you can go into your dashboard on desktop and purchase a pro package to do that. We're going to make this way easier, and you're going to be able to do it within app, and this is going to happen in the next 30 to 60 days. But that feature is already there. It's just that it's very hidden. But you just got to go on your desktop computer, purchase the package, and
then when you watch
it's $10 a month, I think.
If you watch it on your mobile app, will that translate over where they won't see ads on their mobile app on their account?
It should, and we're actually building this all into the mobile apps, and we're going to make this a big deal.
It's called Rumble Pro Pack.
It's I think starter package it's called, but like it's under pro packages. I believe that's what it's called in the dashboard when you go to my account.
I've seen it when I log in. Yeah. It's down to your account on desktop, guys. It's definitely there.
Yeah.
Alboys goes, we want live chat replay. Okay, this is actually okay.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yeah. I know you guys ask about that a lot.
We'll do that.
And the app crashes often when I have the screen minimized, and I always have to restart it. Also, paying a few bucks to keep to be able to skip ads would be nice, which we just answered that for you. And then Lunasas Ra, when do you think live chat replay will be implemented? Probably in the next 90 days or so? Or
I'd give it a quarter.
Okay.
All these things are all in the pipeline right now, so
Gotcha.
we're really working on it.
Awesome.
Yo, I just think you guys don't understand. You're here talking to Chris in person.
Yeah.
About the app itself.
That's wild.
That's huge, bro.
That's wild.
Imagine the YouTube CEO doing this.
Yeah.
Never.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit. Twitch, they don't fucking
W
care.
Rumble, bro.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Holy. I mean, is Kick good? I don't even think Kick will do this.
Nah.
So that shows you guys the commitment to like creating the best platform, man. Chris, you're an amazing question. Is Rumble Cloud usable for things like gaming servers with game studios, MSM Media, and ESG consultant groups attacking gamers? I'm thinking of starting a new studio.
Yeah, I think we made I think Pal World or something had like said they were going to go to business because of their costs were too high, and I made a public tweet asking like saying we could help them. I think like the gaming community using Rumble Cloud would be amazing. We're all for that.
That's almost like Pokemon, right?
I've played it before. It's pretty good. I beat the game.
Well, that's our other Chris.
Yeah.
Not so rich.
Yeah. Hey, man, he's loaded, man.
She's the bum version, quite literally. Yeah.
Fresh and fit. Let's go.
This is too hilarious.
Okay. Well,
Sorry about that, Chris. What were you saying?
So rumble.cloud, you can go there. You can check out the packages we have in terms of the VMs and see if it would work for your needs. But we'd love to tap into that industry. I think that'll, if we could get the gaming industry on Rumble Cloud, that's going to be huge. I actually think
I'm
the
on their
cloud.
gaming.
There's two things.
Toxic gaming.
I'm going to be the top gamer for Rumble, man.
Nah,
We're
not
bringing
you, bro.
Toxic Gaming back. What?
No, not you, bro.
Sorry.
In order to
Go ahead.
tilt the market back and win, we need to kick the advertising ecosystem's ass, and
Yeah.
we need to kick the cloud's ecosystem's ass. We got to win in those two categories because cloud is the heart of big tech. That we are taking the fight directly in their house right now by having cloud. That is their profit center. That's where they make a ton of money, and they get to dictate a lot of things that happen on the internet. The free flow of information starts at the cloud because everyone can hop on a browser and find a site and get their information. But if it's all hosted on the cloud, they can prevent that free flow of information. So having a new highway in that side of the world, having the Rumble Cloud is huge.
Yeah.
A massive asset that can really push back. And obviously the advertising ecosystem is massive, and I think we can do some serious damage on that side of the business as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gaming is gaming combined to all other forms of entertainment is number one. It beats movies, TV, sports. It beats everything combined. Gaming. It's a huge industry, guys. What else do we got here? YouTube bot, $50. Okay, shout out to you, bro. AORTs goes, Chris, can you address why 70% of your market cap is owned by insiders, and of the 30% that actually out to the public, 5% is owned by Vanguard and 1.2% by both BlackRock and Straight Street, respectively?
I'm not sure those percentages are correct. I've seen some stuff online that is not correct. And I don't know. whether those percentages are correct. But like, yes, one thing that is correct is that the majority of ownership is insiders. I have 85% voting control in
Damn.
Rumble, so roughly 85% voting control at Rumble. And I am the single largest stockholder in Rumble. And then, you know, one of my good friends that I've known for a very long time is the second largest stockholder. And then the third largest is another good friend of mine. And then even Dan Bongino is a very large stockholder of Rumble.
Nice.
But the public amount, the shares, like the insiders have like a huge portion in the majority of the shares, and we're all like super passionate individuals in what we're doing, and really believe in the mission. Like myself, obviously Dan, everyone.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding. How many countries have come after you and said, "Yo, you need to cancel this person"? You guys said go pound sand, or you know, how many hit pieces does Media Matters make? You know, trying to say that you guys incite X, Y, Z. Like, you guys are really committed to the mission, right? It's like you guys are standing up to freaking governments.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
Multiple. France, Brazil, UK.
Brazil. We shut those countries off.
Yeah.
Because they asked us to shut off a creator.
Yep.
Name another large platform that has ever walked away from a country based on the principles, based on a human right.
I don't know any.
Because I get a lot of questions from you guys from France saying, "Yo, why isn't Rumble in France?"
No, you know
guys,
why.
Now you guys know why. They basically wanted someone in Brazil too. They wanted someone canceled. Rumble said no, we're not going to do it, and they basically turned the country off, guys.
We stuck up for a creator, than complying with the government. Imagine that.
Crazy.
It's like, I can't believe it's sad that we're there, but and it sucks that we're the only one that does that. Like, it would be so great if like Elon would come in and do the same thing. It would be so great if Meta did the same thing. It would, like, I would love that kind of support, and that would really tilt the system back. Is if like you create like a wall of platforms to fight back against this like ridiculous censorship that's happening around the world. It really opens your eyes of how amazing America really is, because this does not, we don't have this luxury in a lot of countries of the world that we do here. That First Amendment is like so incredible. And a lot of people will have it in their Bill of Rights, like Canada and all these other places. But like, if you don't have a judicial system and you can't uphold that Constitution, that's a problem. And in America, we are really, it's really fortunate that we have a country that really upholds this human right.
Bam. And guys, we're going to go 50 and up here because, you know, obviously Chris is a busy man. He's got money to make and, you know, creators to save and promoting free speech. Hardyways says, is there any way that you can implement different price levels for memberships on local, similar to Patreon? I remember FNF used to have different membership levels when they were on Patreon. Okay, so for locals, that's what they're asking.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think you could, but I'm not going to say for certain because I don't know specifically if you can do that or not.
Okay. What else? Okay, can you make Rumble available for consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, for example?
Xbox is coming.
Okay.
All right.
Majiko goes, Chris, love the platform growth and offerings in cloud studio video ads. With TikTok short form could come into play. Any roadmap to go into tweet or forum space like Reddit or True Social? Interesting.
No, not at all. I think we have the 4 categories. I can add a 5th category in what we're kind of exploring, but it kind of really dovetails into studio. So cloud, video platform, advertising ecosystem, and then studio, which is going to bring in ads. And one of the things we're doing is we're trying to bring in our own products. So like, for example, if brands don't want to touch you, run Rumble Coffee. Right here. Stuff like that. So we want to make sure it's actually pretty good.
Coffee,
like this, I actually really like this coffee.
I bought a coffee maker just for it.
We had some in Romania with the Tates. It was great.
Yeah,
really good.
It's legit. It's actually legit. It's high quality stuff. I love it. But like, what we want to do is we want to have like a set of different products so that creators can generate revenue, because there's a lot of creators that advertisers don't want to touch at all, and that creates an issue. And it's gotten so stupid, the reasons why, that like if you want to promote Rumble Coffee, it'll be as an option in the Rumble Studio and
That's
you can
awesome,
generate
man.
revenue. So we want to have a product line. We don't just want coffee. We're looking at exploring and like various different products. So you can call that like a fifth pillar.
That's so
but that's
important, though.
really just supporting the Rumble Advertising Center and the studio. So it kind of fits into one of those.
I think for a creator, if you're not able to get sponsorships from other brands,
Yeah.
then guess what? Rumble says, here's some products you can use in your platform to help us, generate money, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, what other platform is going to do that, guys? You know,
how about whiskey?
this guy.
Yeah, you want some whiskey.
Rum? How about rum?
Yeah, rum.
That's what Chris wants.
Possible.
Fat Olive Essie goes, Chris, thank you for giving us a partner program, only investing channel on Rumble that looks at fundamentals. Question: when do you see Rum to be net income positive and cash flow positive?
So these are like forward-looking statements. We're a public company. I can't get into answering any forward-looking type stuff when it comes to
Fair enough.
financials of Rumble.
No worries.
That's for the CFO.
Luzupan goes, am I tripping or is there no way to download long-form content to the device and app similar way to YouTube, W-Hole, FNF, Team, and Chris? So downloading videos on, I think you can download videos on Rumble.
Yeah, it's not. I think I know what he's asking. I think we're going to be building in that function where you can actually download it to your device. So that's coming.
Okay, because I've seen the download thing.
Yeah,
before.
in your accounts you have it, I believe. Like,
Okay, I know.
for your own stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Punch TV says, what is the future of the gaming community on Rumble? Good question, bro.
Hey, like I said,
Mentioned it.
we want to be in all categories of content. We don't want to be one specific thing. We don't want to be just politics. We don't want to be just sports. We want to kind of have all the communities on Rumble. I think it just comes down to building an amazing product and getting a better product out there, and that's what we're going to do. Like I said, latency is a big thing that we need to fix, and our goal is to be better than any other platform out there when it comes to latency. And I will drive, and I won't stop, and I won't quit until we are better than everyone out there. So I think as we continue to build a better product here, and sub gifting and all the other stuff, rating is in testing right now with some creators. We'll have that better product, and hopefully we'll have a much better product here in the next year or two.
Yeah, and I game on Rumble, guys. It's a Rumble exclusive for obvious reasons, because I'm very competitive. But yeah, if you guys want to see me game on Overwatch, I'm over there on Rumble.
That's a nice way to say it, but
yeah.
I know, no ads for you, bro.
Yeah. Crickle goes, hey, Chris, my question is, there been any thoughts on developing using an additional streaming protocol alongside RMTP, something like Mixer's FTL protocol, which gave an option for sub-second latency?
Really, I wasn't aware of that, but that is something I will talk to my tech teams with respect to. I will definitely.
I have no
bring
idea
that
what
up.
he said, but it looks like you know. So we got here, just checked out Rumble Cloud, solid pricing, but no GPU compute. How many V100s do you have on order, and when can I start running my Gen AI app on Rumble Cloud? Damn, these are interesting questions.
Yeah.
Tech questions.
Yeah, tech questions. I don't even know what they're saying.
Interesting.
I think that's a graphics
Go
card
back.
question. That's a graphics card question.
Graphics card?
Yeah, so GPUs is in very high demand, specifically the H100s. I can't talk about like any forward-looking stuff, but what I will say is that we're very aware of the AI community and the needs on the cloud side. And that is something that we are having a lot of conversations about, and where and how much to invest. Hopefully there'll be some more information on that, but I don't want to say much more than that at this point in time.
No problem. And we got 14,000 y'all, man. Like the video, guys. Katie Maria says, hey, Chris, can you tell me why Europa, the last battle, has disappeared from Rumble?
I'm not familiar with what this is, but if videos are getting taken down,
Might be copyright.
Could be copyright. It could be an app store takedown request. It could be various different things. So it's like I said, there's many different reasons why the content can be taken down on Rumble, but we try to be we try to push the system as much as possible that we possibly can, but we're constricted by guardrails on of the app stores.
Yeah. Let's see, because that's a documentary, guys, so it might be copyrighted. What else do we got here?
We have one more left.
One more?
That's
Okay.
gonna be in soon, so it's coming shortly.
Someone clarifying one of their questions?
Yeah.
So, Chris, I guess just from me, the last question I have for you: future Rumble, where's it going, And what's the future for creators on Rumble?
So at this point in time, I'm the most, what's the word, excited with what we have. It has taken, it's actually been really fast, but for me, it's been really slow. In perspective, we built an ad marketplace in the last year and a half when Google spent billions of dollars buying DoubleClick and many other things. We have the 4 assets that we can finally go to market and start selling now and start improving. The Rumble video product will only get better. The Rumble Advertising Center is an incredible asset for publishers, for Rumble, for advertisers, going directly after AdSense and Ad Exchange. We have the cloud going directly at the heart of big tech. And then we have the studio. All these products now, we're finally at the stage where they're all kind of out there. The studio still needs to add the ads part. Once that's done, I can now, hit the market with 4 incredible products, build an incredible business. It's like a mini Google in a way, not search, or we don't have search, but, and we can hit the market and really push forward. Like, I'm never been more excited about these 4 assets that we have. I think they're incredible assets. It's an incredible achievement what we've done in in the last couple of years alone since we raised money, and I've never been more excited. I think for creators, the fact that they're gonna have advertising options, they're gonna have things like Rumble Coffee to advertise. You guys are already doing it. That is what's gonna build sustainability for creators. All these things are coming together, and we're going to be able to create a creator ecosystem that's going to be sustainable for the long term. And most importantly, my goal is to create create the best way for creators to make and generate revenue. I want to be the best place on the planet for helping creators make money. And
you guys do better than YouTube. If a creator comes over to Rumble, they don't got to wait to get monetized. They get monetized immediately, right?
we have some advantages. Obviously, like YouTube's got other advantages. They get a lot of brand ads. We don't. So like the goal is, though, with Rumble Advertising Center and then Rumble Studio bringing in live reads, which no one else does. By the way, that's patent pending, that technology to in real time get an advertisement notification while you're live streaming. So imagine we're live right now and your Rumble dashboard in the Rumble Studio right now pops up and says, hey, for $100, read this read on Rumble Coffee. You read it, $100 goes into your account.
Oh, wow.
That's what this is going to do. This is patent pending right now. That's
awesome.
This is a whole new mousetrap for generating revenue for creators that no one else has out there. And I think that's going to be a really big competitive advantage in the live streaming market. And like the other great part is it doesn't really depend on Rumble. So like you can stream on YouTube, you can stream on any platform, and Rumble will now participate in the revenue generation on all platforms. So it's not limited to just the audience on Rumble. It's it's unlimited to the whole spectrum of all platforms.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's great stuff, man. As you guys can see, a lot of big things coming for Rumble. Did that thing come in, guys, or we can close out? Okay, last one here, guys. Boozy Badass says, Chris, bring in brand dangerous perfume and cologne. We want to work with Fresh and Fitted.
Okay.
Never heard of it, but okay.
This
guys, this was a great
interview.
episode, man.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else would, have the courage to come and listen to constructive criticism. Like, that shows the dedication of making the platform the best it can be.
Yep.
I told you guys, the last bastion of free speech, man. Chris, thanks for coming on the pod, bro. I'll give you the last word.
No, thank you. You guys are a powerful force on Rumble. I would say one of the larger shows. You guys pull in some incredible numbers. We're so happy to have you guys. I love seeing these Rumble
absolutely, you know it, man.
Little trophies on the table here. What you guys have done and helping Rumble has been phenomenal. I just want to say a big thank you to you and your community out there. Having the patience they've had with a lot of stuff that we needed to improve on over the years. So I can't thank you guys enough. It's what you guys are you guys and your community is what makes us better. And I can't thank you guys enough.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Chris. He's the CEO of Rumble Man. Shout out to Rumble Man. Guys, we'll be back with some lovely ladies.
Yep.
In a little bit, man, because the show doesn't end. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace.
I ran so far away.